Welcome back to Thistle Farmstead. My name's Todd, and today I'm going to be assembling and installing a ceiling storage rack for our garage here. We're trying to get organized. We got a lot of stuff in our garage, and we're hoping the ceiling rack's going to help us organize things. So come along with me as I assemble it and install it. Here's the unit that we're going to put up. It is a FlexiMount model GR48NC. It's a 4x8 foot height adjustable ceiling storage rack, and it's in hammer tone. So it says it's going to support at least 600 pounds of weight. It can adjust the height from 20 inches to 40 inches from the ceiling drop. And I'm assuming those weight capacity limits are based on if you mount it properly. So I'm going to try to find some studs and mount it in the ceiling joists, I should say, not studs. So let me open the box and we'll see what's in it. And first of all, probably get the instructions to see what the mounting distances are, and then I'll locate the ceiling joists. Let's see what we have in the box. The box is already a bit open. When the shipper dropped it off, some of the one side was already kind of torn open, and I made him wait while I checked everything just to make sure that all the pieces were in it, and they were. They looked pretty good. So as I said when I was kind of reading the description of this thing, it's a hammered, kind of this gray, they call it hammer steel finish on it. So we got the rack and one piece. Here's another piece. Looks like it's packaged pretty good. I'm gonna set this piece over here. It's got these cardboard pieces around the corner, I'm assuming to keep it from getting banged up or chipped. Let's see what else we have in here. Some styrofoam. There's our instructions. We have some other pieces here that are boxed up. We'll see what those are. I'm sure these are the uprights. Oh, those are pretty heavy. Some more packing material. And here's some more uprights in a box. Interesting that they packed that one at a 45-degree angle. I guess they're trying to keep up with all of the, use up all the box. So there's some more edge pieces. Interesting that this one is in plastic, and none of the rest of them are. And then here's the last rack. So let me get the instructions out. Over here, let me pick up some of these pieces, put back in the box so they're not in the way. And I think the instructions were over here. Let me take a look. Get my eyeballs out. All right. So yeah, this got some uprights, bolts. So I'm gonna go over the instructions here. Yeah, it does show mounting it on the ceiling joists. And it's got instructions for whether it's parallel or perpendicular to your ceiling joist, which is nice. Let me come over here by the camera so you can see. Here we can do it parallel to the ceiling joist or perpendicular, which is kind of nice. It gives you all the dimensions for putting it up either way. So I think what I'll do first is try to find the ceiling joists Where I want to put it is over here in our corner of our garage. And as you can see, we needed to organize some of this mess. But I want it to go right up in here, kind of between the wall and this beam that goes across. And I'm going to see, I'm hoping that's going to be 4 feet across this way at least, so we can put it right up against the back of there. So I'm going to grab the ladder, come over, and we'll measure. And then I need to find the joist. My assumptions are, since this is a beam that runs the width of the garage, is that there's going to be joists running this way, perpendicular to it. But we'll see. I'll get my stud finder and we'll try to find them. I have my ladder here now so I can see if I can find these joists. Now, we built this garage and I went back and looked at some of the photos from the build. And this garage is built with engineered joists. And I'll put a picture up of those. But what we have here is a huge glulam beam that goes across. And I was thinking they might have filled in perpendicular to that with some joists. However, when I looked at the pictures, they have one going across, but then they have some other joists that are the I-beam engineered joists. So that it just concerns me a little bit about hanging stuff from that. But I looked online and they said as long as it's not a huge amount of weight, it should be fine. But some of those joists only have like a 2x2 flange on the bottom, so it's not a lot of meat to hang stuff from. But I'm going to see if I can locate these. Okay, that, I'm quite sure why that's showing up like that. Let's see. Let me get also, I have a magnet that I use to locate the screws for the drywall. And I've had success with that before. Let me see if I can find that magnet. I have the magnet now, and what this is it's a very strong magnet in this little rubber holder thing. And it will pretty much stick to any nail that might be, or screw that it'll find that is in the drywall. And I've used this before for demo purposes, so that you know, I can find the screws and then back them out. So basically what I do is just rub this across the ceiling. Okay, see, there's one right there. Okay, so there's a screw there, or a nail, which means there should be some up here. There you go, there's one there. So this will give me the locations. Okay, there's something else there of my joists. There's something here, so let me see, let me get my picture so I can see where that is. What I'm going to have to do to mount this is, this beam here is right at 4 feet, 48 inches out. And these are engineered I-beams in here, and they run this way. And I'll put up a picture. I do have a picture of when we built the garage. So I'm really not going to be able to mount to those. They're in an odd position. They're kind of here and here. I need to be all the way against the far wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 2x4 and mount it on that wall there, and attach it through into the actual studs, the wall studs. So that'll attach it to the wall studs. I can connect that side to the wall studs, and then this side I'll connect to this big beam here. So not as easy as I hoped it would have been, but I think I can make it work. So what I'm going to do now is just go and locate the studs there for to mount my 2x4. I hate stud finders. They're ridiculous. Don't work half the time. So let me see if I can find the studs here. Should be one right there where that outlet is. Okay. Yep, there's one there. And if they did the standard framing practice of 16-inch on center, I should be able to find the other ones based off of that outlet. This is why I hate stud finders. You could see that sometimes I'm going right over the stud. Sometimes it's not finding it. Sometimes who knows where the edge is. So I'm going to go back to my little magnet trick and see if I can find the actual screws for the drywall. So as you can see, that worked much better. At least I'm able to find the screws. So I think that's got everything marked. I'm going to take my board and I'm going to put it up there and should be ready to mount. I've cut my cleat that I'm going to put on the wall the same depth as this little header that's up here already. That way when I mount to here and then over to that cleat, it'll be the same distance from the ceiling and level. I won't have to worry about shimming it or leveling it up. Now I'm going to attach that to the wall with some 3-inch screws. Perfect. Now that gives me something to mount the back side to that's even with this front side. So I should be able just to put the brackets on there. And you notice the ceiling is not exactly level. There's a little notch. That's why I was using the level to level that board up as opposed to going straight from the ceiling. Now that I've got my ceiling prepped, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the unit per its instructions. I've got it laid out on the floor like it says to do here. If you look, it's kind of like that. And then we'll start putting the upright pieces together to get them going. Let's see what we got here. Look like some upright pieces. More pieces there. Let's see what we got in this box. Well, I can cut it open. A lot of fasteners and hardware. And some more pieces. Let's see what they want us to do. All right. This is just talking about planning your installation. I've already done that. I planned it. Okay, finally, step 3, we get to actually putting together the uprights. So, determine the hanging height and attach the L-shaped upright upper vertical post with the L-shaped upright lower post with the nuts and tighten with the socket wrench. All right, so it looks like the lower post, this L-shaped one here, like that. Yep. So we got 4 of these. These have like a little hook on the bottom so that they will hook in and hold the shelf like so. There we go, like that. So we should have 4 of those, one for each of the corners. Excellent. Upright pieces. These pieces with square holes. Get it bolted on to whatever height you want it. We have pretty high ceilings in the garage here, so I'll probably go as low as it can. And then it says to avoid misalignments with holes while installing the screws, do not tighten any screws until you get everything in. Okay, sounds good to me. Okie dokie. And then these pieces with the flats on them like this go here in the middle like that. But we'll do these other ones first. Let me get some fasteners. See, they give you some nice lag screws too, which I'll use in that other bolt. All right, so we got 11, 12, 13, and 14. Which bolts do they want us to use to connect them together? They want us to use... I would think that is 11 and 12 since it is a nut and a bolt. How many of these do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So do you only get one per? Yeah, and those have a square head on them too, so they go in. That just doesn't look like there's very many of them there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here it shows putting 2 in one post, so you're going to run out of bolts really quick with just 6. Let's say we're supposed to have. Bum, 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 bum. Pack of 6 and pack of 6 nuts. And then we got a pack of 12 and a pack of 12 nuts. So, oh, here we go. There we go. That's what I'm missing right there. That's the ones. That makes sense now. Let me get a socket, even though they give you a little socket for that. Oh, that was awesome right there. That's the way to do it. Just throw them all over the floor. All right, so we want these square ones. And what they suggest is you put one in each side. I want this to be down quite a ways. So let's see if I just use 2 screws, how far down from the ceiling we will be. So if I put one there and one here, these are locking nuts, by the way. That's good. So let me get, is that going to stand up? Let me get my tape measure and measure how far down that is. Let's see. From the bottom to the top. 40 inches. Okay. And then I need to see how it mounts. I guess, okay, 40 inches. So that's going to hang 40 inches down from my ceiling. So I'm back at it. I had to take a break for lunch, and I had to change shirts and pants because I was so sweaty out here. It is summertime is here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I measured my ceiling. It's a 9-foot ceiling, and we want these at least 6 feet off the ground so we don't bang our head. Of course, I won't bang my head because I'm like 5 foot nothing, but we don't want anybody else walking into it. So I'm going to make these uprights 3 feet, and that'll give us a good 6 feet clearance. And so I've got the first one measured out and put on here. I'm going to stick the rest on and tighten them up. Basically, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes for each of them. So I'm going to do that. I'm just checking to make sure I've got all those the same length before I tighten them up. And it looks like I do. All right, the impact made quick work of that. And then these other pieces need to go, these flat pieces here. I need to do the same thing with those. They have to be the same length as the others. So basically it's these, I believe. Let me refer to the instructions and see what it says. So it looks like we only get one middle brace, so there's really not a brace. I thought this might go, you might have one for each, but it looks like there's just one for the middle there. And then what bolts those together here are these pieces. So you have 4 of these, they go there, and then those go in the middle. So let me, I can use the same ones, I believe, on those. I'm gonna try it at least. So let's put one out here so we can get the same length. Spin. Okay. All right, we'll do the same for this one. Put it the same way. Missing the nut. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I dumped them all out on the ground a minute ago. Okay. So I've got my 4 corner pieces. I've got my 2 center pieces. We'll need to bolt these together. Put the lip underneath the unit, which makes sense, so that it can hold some of the force. So let's move these out of the way. And these also bolt together. So I'm going to turn them upside down so that I can bolt it together. All right, so let me get these bolts. And let me see if I can open these without pouring them all over the place. And these go through here like this. Hello, Mr. B. Go away. Okay, there's one started. Hey, just the one there. I guess one here. All right, and then this piece goes like this. Now remember, it's upside down, so they want this piece to be holding the bottom. What does that one not want to start for me? That one did, no problem. This one, a little bit out of alignment. There we go. Let me find an Allen key to fit this. All right, got my little Allen key here. I don't want to tighten these up too much before I get everything in. Let me get those other sides in over there before I start tightening everything up. Sorry about all the racket there. It's a little bit easier to stand them up and drive in these screws than to try to do it on the floor. Just because I've got more room for the impact driver. So that one is together. Let's do the next one. We've got the bottom panels together now and all the uprights. So now it's a matter of bolting the pieces that go to the ceiling, which are these up there. So let me go do that. Now they give you these big anchor bolts here, but I'm gonna have to drill because otherwise I'll split my little 2x4 that I have over there. So I'm gonna drill some pilot holes. I guess these go here. Yeah, they're gonna go in the end of each one. And that leaves you the slots for the other ones. Okay, let's do it. So now we're back over where we're gonna mount these things. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount the two end ones and then the one in the middle. I'm gonna drill some pilot holes so that I don't split that piece of wood there. Now when I put this up on the wall there, I'm gonna put it like this, with this open part to the wall, because I need to be able to get behind there and put the screws in it. If I put it flush against the wall like this, obviously I won't be able to get behind there for screws. All right, that's the first one up there. So here's what I was talking about. By putting this backwards, it gives me room to get the screw in. Now, I probably could have flipped it, but then it would have come down here and I would have barely had room to get my, my screw in there. And that, I don't think, would have been very fun. I think what I'm going to do is put a couple more those screws, those 3-inch screws, through that board into that top plate there, and just to give it some more holding power. That's going to be the weakest link right there, I think. So let me put some more screws in that. Well, I realized I didn't have the camera on, but I did put 3 more screws. 1, 2, 3, that side, and 3 more on this side, up at an angle into the that corner header. So I have altogether 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of those 3.5-inch wood screws holding that cleat up, and then the lag bolts holding the rest of that. So that should be a gracious plenty. We don't plan on loading this thing up with too much stuff. So now I'm going to mount the brackets on this beam here. I need 48 inches between that far bracket and this other bracket here. So I'm going to mark that now. All right, that's all the mounting brackets. So now I can start hanging the uprights, the ones that hang down. And then once we get those on, we can start putting the shelf on. What a boob I was. Those pieces up here, let me zoom in. Even though they are slotted back and forth this way, they are just the right size for that carriage bolt head to fit in there. So I was thinking the carriage bolts had to go in the square holes, which they don't. They can go in those slotted ones too. So that means I can turn that around, all those in the back, and use the impact driver. Yee-hoo, hallelujah. Because I could tell right when I started doing that, it was going to be a pain. So that's good. That's all of the uprights. So now really all I have to do is sit the shelving on top. Not sure how hard that will be. I'm going to try it by myself. If I can't get it on there, I'll go get my wife and she can help me. All right, I've got my rack. Let me see how difficult or easy this will be. So that went up there pretty easily, but I can't get that screw in the back. These screws right here are they're very short screws. You can see that, very short and nubby. And so they're hard to hold on to, and they don't want to start very easily. I mean, they're just, they're difficult. Okay, I see what's wrong with that one. Those little brackets that are hanging down are bent at a 90-degree angle. That one is bent just a little bit too far, past 90, and it's not letting the cage or the bed drop down far enough to actually align with the hole. So I'm just going to get a pair of pliers and tweak it just a little bit. That's crazy. I pulled it away from that vertical bracket, and it will actually screw into the frame, but something about the alignment of the hole, it is not letting it go in. I was very impressed with this initially, but that is so aggravating. It doesn't help that I'm up against the wall there, but the hole should line up. All right, I've tried bending that thing. I've tried all kind of stuff. It just does not align. You can't really unbend that 90-degree bend because there's just not enough material to hold on to unbend it and get room. So I'm just going to have to drill that hole bigger. There's no way around it. I drilled those holes out, and then I turned the camera off to go help the wife do something and forgot to turn it back on, but that did the trick. I was able to get the that back screw in. So now I'm going to put the other shelf on. All right, that wasn't so bad. Finally got it in. Now I just got to put the corner racks in. But I tell you what, this thing up here looks a bit crooked too. Maybe I was supposed to put that in the center. Oh well, that's interesting. It's the next day, and I'm out here. I need to paint this little wooden piece that I put up there. So this is going to be a real stress test for it. This is supposed to hold 600 pounds. I weigh about 190, so I'm not that big. But I'm going to get up on this thing and paint that back rail there. So we'll see. I'll have the filming, and if it falls, then you'll get some excitement. But if it won't hold me, I'm not too confident in what else it's going to hold. But here we go. I'll even back you up here so you can see the floor too. So if I crash down, you'll get the whole thing. I'm going to start out by putting a piece of plywood up there so I'll have something to sit on instead of sitting on that wire. That's not going to be too comfortable. And then if something were to happen and it were to fall, at least I'm not going to have any of my fingers or anything else through that wire that could be smashed. That is 6 foot off the ground, so it'll be a little bit of a fall if it comes down, but hopefully it won't be enough to hurt me severely. Hopefully I don't even have to worry about that. Okay, here it goes. I want to get up there and tape off those little brackets first so I don't get paint on them. Whew, okay, well, it passed the test of me hanging on it. So now let's, I've got my magic eraser. I'm going to get up there and clean up some of the pencil marks I put on the wall and on the ceiling, and then I'll start painting. And wouldn't you know it, now that I'm looking at that color, that's not even the same color. That's like a gray color. So it looks like I'm going to need to let that dry and then get back up there and paint it the right color. Well, I repainted that upper board there with the correct color of gray paint, and maybe you can see it looks a little better. It's not tan like the color I painted it before. So I think that's it. It's up, it's painted, Now we just got to move some stuff around under it, and we're going to move some cabinets under there, and then we'll be able to start using it. Again, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please press that like button. It really helps the channel out a lot. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and ring that bell notification so that anytime we post a new video, you'll get notified.